prepping my braised cabbage. I thinly slice up some red cabbage, grate some apple, transfer all of that to a heavy bottom.
I might be able to learn a thing or two
for
from
about
her.
An hour with some apple cider vinegar, some sugar, just
She can cook anything.
While that's getting to know each other, I move on to making my beef rouladen. I thinly pounded out some sirloin, spread some German mustard on it, put down a slice of bacon, some diced onions, diced pickles, and I tie that up with some twine, and I repeat that with all of my pieces of beef. Once that stage of prep is done, I sear them off before taking them out of the pot and prepping my carrots and onions to go in. I saute them, add some red wine, deglaze my pot.
Oh yeah, she
adding
a
in
cook,
some
huh?
tomato paste, and some beef stock. At this point, my beef goes back in and I let that simmer for about 2 to 3 hours. While that's going, I make my mom-in-law's famous pretzel salad. Oddly enough, I can never get it right. It consists of a pretzel crust, some Cool Whip and cream cheese as the second layer, and then some raspberries and jello on top. Once that's assembled, I pop it in the fridge until we're done with dinner. Growing up, I hated Brussels sprouts, but now I've come around.
I love
to
Brussels
it,
sprouts,
they're
y'all.
actually one of my favorite vegetable, if done right.
That's one of my favorite too.
In the oven to roast, and in the meantime, I boil some baby potatoes to go as one of the sides. Before serving, I like thickening my gravy with a little bit of cornstarch, and then we were done.
Yeah, y'all, this is making me hungry. I definitely can't wait to cook.
Salt. That's how my grandma did it.
I might have to order some Brussels sprouts after this.
There's truly nothing the kids love more than baking chocolate chip oatmeal cookies, especially.
I want to see her make something else from scratch.
9-hour flight, so I needed to make them a little sweet treat before they left. I needed something relatively quick, so I made them some cinnamon roll bites. I let my yeast bloom with some sugar, added in
cinnamon rolls from scratch? Look at the hairstyle though, fire.
I kneaded it for about 7 minutes. I transferred that to a bowl and let that rise for 2 hours. In the meantime, I melted some butter and combined some brown sugar and cinnamon. And once my dough was done, I formed it into little balls and dipped them in the melted butter first. Before rolling
cinnamon roll balls?
brown sugar and cinnamon mixture. I repeated that with all of my dough. I placed all of my balls into a cast iron skillet and moved on to making my little topping. This was super quick. I just melted down some butter, cinnamon, brown sugar, and poured that on top. And then it was time for the second rise. This one was about 45 minutes. And once they were done rising, I poured over some heavy cream, popped those in the oven for about 30 minutes, and got started on my glaze. My glaze was very simple, just some heavy cream and powdered sugar. 30 minutes later, they were golden brown and bubbling, drizzled over my glaze, and it was time to dig in. These were absolutely stunning.
It's definitely giving ASMR her voice.
There is something so fun about switching up my... This has been... Looking at the weather outside made me realize that we had to turn on a Christmas movie. Even though it's winter,
101 Dalmatians is what this looked like.
Especially an Oreo one. So I decided to make a peppermint ice cream Oreo sandwich. I combined my milk, heavy cream, sugar, vanilla, and peppermint extract. Let that churn for about an hour while I got started on my Oreos.
Oh, she the real deal, y'all. She the real deal.
Sprinkle of salt. I set that aside and in the meantime creamed together my butter, brown sugar, and granulated sugar. Once that came together, I added an egg,
this do sound like an ASMR.
And then added my dry ingredients to my wet. Once it got to the consistency I wanted, I popped that in the fridge for about 30 minutes. And then it was time to roll it out. I didn't want them too thin, but also not too thick. So once I got it to the thickness I wanted, I took my gingerbread cutter and shaped them into little gingerbread men.
Somebody said I'm gonna tell my kids this was Cindy Lou Who.
Before placing them back on my baking sheet and popping them in the fridge for another 15 minutes. At this point, my ice cream was soft serve consistency.
Ooh, that
so
ice cream looked
I spread it on
good.
a baking tray and put it
What are we
in the
doing with
fridge
it
for
though?
about 30 more minutes. I baked my Oreos for about 10 minutes and then let them cool. After giving my ice cream another 15 minutes,
Oh, we making
to cut my ice cream to fit my cookies perfectly. And these were absolutely
Nah, fam, I need her, boy.
started.
I need her as a personal chef. Okay, hold on, let's see this breakfast real quick.
And while I was patiently waiting for them to wake up, I decided to get started on making
Hey, y'all.
We had an abundance of citrus, so I decided to make some sugared mandarins to sit on the table, just to make breakfast a little extra special. I brushed all my mandarins, clementines, and oranges with some egg white.
Why we doing that?
Some sugar, set those aside for a couple hours while I got started on my crepes.
She be having me so confused, cause why what kind of breakfast are we making? We gotta put sugar and rub stuff on the outside of oranges. Like, what we doing?
Ingredients added in my flour, and also added in some algae oil and some melted butter. I gave that a whisk, poured it on my hot griddle, and
Some
repeated
pancakes?
that with all of my batter. I set those aside, made Lucky
Some
squeeze
fresh
some
orange
oranges,
juice.
and added the juice into a pan with some melted butter, sugar, and let that
Hold on, where we
reduce
going?
until it became all syrupy. While that was going, I folded up my crepes and assembled them on my platter.
Oh.
I like folding them into little triangles, but rolls will do just fine as well. I spooned over my hot orange syrup, some mandarin zest, and at this point I heard little footsteps and voices, seeing them so
Oh, they was just
excitedly.
decorations.
Today was one of
Oh
those
my
mornings
God.
for my kids to
Even the decorations is real, y'all. I know y'all be having back at home. I don't know if y'all do it at SA or not, but back at home, you know what I'm saying? They be having the fake fruit, and the fake fruit be having that stuff on it. I don't know if y'all do that where y'all from. People think she didn't originate these recipes?
dinner.
Okay, hold on, let me check. Oh, freak yeah.
distracting me. We're having a jacket potato. I haven't had one in so long.
A what potato?
Putting some butter in it. I like my jacket potatoes with tuna. I know that's controversial.
She call it a
But
jacket
tonight
potato?
I made a roast, so we're gonna have that on it. I caramelized some onions, so I'm gonna put those on. I just cooked them down.
Hey, her man be eating good, y'all. Her man be eating good, you hear me?
Rolled out of bed this morning, Lucky told me that he ran out of his hair pomade. So while he was going through his morning routine, I decided to just make him some really quick for when he's done. I combined some beeswax, shea butter, coconut oil, let that all melt together.
Does she know
Does
she know how to make
I
everything?
also added in a few drops of rosemary oil.
Am I
That
glazing?
Mix before I grabbed my little tin and poured my mixture inside. Since it's gotten really cold, this didn't take long to set. And about 30 minutes later, he came out the shower.
She
and
made
it
this
was ready
nigga
to
some
use.
hair
Timing was
grease.
immaculate.
She made him some hair grease, bruh.
One fragrance.
That's something my
When
grandma
daughter
could do or
came
something.
home and asked me what a candy bracelet is, I knew it was time to finally
she likes
show
them off
her.
Disney.
I got so excited since these are so nostalgic. So I got in the kitchen and decided to make her one really quick. Separated my eggs, started whipping up my egg whites and gradually adding in some sugar to make a meringue. Once everything looked glossy and white, I divided it in two and put it in separate bowls before adding some purple color and pink color to my two batches. I wanted these to be pastel colors since her favorite colors are pink and purple. I gave those a mix and then filled them over to my piping bags. I started by piping my pink meringue and put the purple one in the fridge to chill. And this was the most tedious but also fun part. I piped all these small
Who
little
y'all? I'm gonna
circles
check her
onto a
out. Who is it
baking
called?
tray, which took me about 2 hours. Once the pink was done, I moved on to the purple and then popped them in the oven for about 2 hours. Turned my oven
Are these
off,
Cheerios?
let them cool down in the oven for another hour. I then transferred everything
Candy
to my
bracelet?
plate and started on my bracelets. I threaded my meringue on, alternating between the pink and purple. Rumble loved it, and 10 minutes later she asked me for another.
Bro, I bet she got a video making water, y'all.
I
It's the
was
last one
tossing
I'ma
and
watch,
turning
y'all.
my
It's the last one
phone
I'ma
and just
watch.
gave up on sleep since all I could think about was bulldog carbonara. And since that craving wouldn't stop, I went downstairs and made myself some. I started by making my mozzarella, heating up my milk and adding in some white vinegar. I strained my curds, stretched them out, and once they looked smooth, I formed them into a ball and set them aside in some cold water. I grabbed my rice that had been soaking for a few hours, let that strain and sit for about 2 hours just to dry out a little bit more. And in the meantime, I decided to start on my sauce by combining some butter, gochujang, heavy cream.
Hey, I'm a foodie. I'm a
some
big
chicken
foodie,
bouillon,
bro.
a sprinkle of paprika, garlic, and onion powder, and just a tinge of brown sugar. I let that simmer for about 5 minutes, and while that was going, I ground down my rice and sifted it. I combined that with some cornstarch and water and heated that up. Once it hit the consistency I wanted, I pounded it out until it was smooth and divided it into 5 portions before rolling those out and cutting them into individual rice cakes. I repeated that with all
Rice
of my
cakes?
dough and then moved on to chopping up my mozzarella. I added my rice cakes to my sauce, let those simmer for a few minutes before adding in my mozzarella.
My mouth
While
is
that was
watering.
melting and getting to know each other, I sliced
The
up
fresh
some
onions?
scallions, and then it was time to plate.
Oh my gosh,
This
y'all.
was absolutely stunning and the perfect midnight snack. I was tossing and turning.
Midnight snack,
and I
bro.
just
What?
gave up on sleep.
Midnight snack is wild, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. Smoked eggplant. Bro, I've never ate an eggplant in my life. What does that taste
Hi,
like?
I'm Onezwa, and I
What
make
does an
meals using
eggplant taste like, y'all?
braised or foraged.
How would you describe a taste of an eggplant? Is it sweet? Is it spicy? Is it... Oh, we grilling it. We smoking it. Okay. I don't know, y'all. I don't know if I would like an eggplant. If she's cooking, I might like it though. There's a lot happening right there. And she's making fresh noodles. Spaghetti, I mean. Hey, if I ever visit her home, I'd never leave. I don't think I ever leave. Hey, y'all might as well just say I came up missing, y'all.
I'm going to teach you how to make your some burger that is perfectly golden and perfectly cooked.
Teach
I use
me.
the big enamel mugs to
Teach
measure my
me.
ingredients. You're going to add 3 mugs or about 1 liter of warm water into a bowl. Then stir in 1/4 cup of sugar and add in 1 packet of yeast to let it bloom for about 10 minutes. That step is not necessary, but I prefer to do it. Then you're going to add 7 mugs or about 1.5 kgs of flour, half a tablespoon of salt, and then mix using a spatula to form a dough. Once the dough is combined, cover and rest it for about 20 minutes. Then we're going to stretch and fold the
Americanized, European version or
into
something.
a nice tight ball. Then cover and rest it until it's doubled in size, about an hour ground. You don't want
Oh, did she just put that mug under the ground?
You want the fire to be in an area with very little to no wind, because wind will blow the coals hot and scotch the bread. Once the dough is ready, generously oil the cast iron pan and lid. Transfer the dough and allow it to prove one more time next to the fire until it's filled the pot. Let's move on to the baking of the bread. You want to move the fire to the side and leave only the hot ash on the ground. You don't want any hot coals left behind because they will burn your bread before it's cooked through. Place the pot on the hot ash, then add more hot ash on the lid. Then you're going to add hot coals this time around the bread. This will create an oven to cook the bread on all sides. After 45 minutes, check the bread and add more hot ash as needed. So any area that is too light, you're going to add more hot ash there. Also rotate the pot.
I'm not coming
so the
home,
side
y'all.
that was closest to the fire is now away from the fire. Another 45 minutes and the bread should be fully baked.
That's how she making
If you have
bread?
any questions?
Come on, fam. She making bread outside on the ground. Bruh, I'm not coming back home. And she drank Black Label. Oh my gosh.
Shazam!
Oh my gosh. It's over. Yup. Take me. Take me, you hear me? Take me.
To make a lobster roll, I am going to go and get my own lobster out the ocean. Hi, I'm Onezwa, and I make meals using items that have grown, raised, or foraged.
She went and
I was
grabbed her own
born,
lobster?
raised, and still live in a small coastal village on the Eastern Cape's Wild Coast. And my family has lived here for generations, both paternal and maternal. And so everything that I know about the ocean and all that it provides is knowledge passed down through the generations. From fishing,
What's good, bro?
foraging, safe handling of seafood, cooking and storing it, those are all things that I learned from my elders. Seafood still remains the main source of protein for many people here, and
Where's she
especially
from?
me.
With the
I eat more
seafood.
seafood than I do meat. There are many villages along the coast that coexist with the ocean, and though I know that our normal is not the norm,
Look
we've
at
been
that roll,
here
y'all.
for many, many, many years, and I think that we'll be here for many more years to come. If I'm gonna make
Oh, oh. Nigga, where is she from? An octopus?
Let me teach you how to cook octopus.
She went to the ocean and caught the octopus?
You know what? Never mind. If you're in Joburg on the 17th of May, just come to my pop-up and I will cook octopus for you. Tickets are on the link in my bio. See you soon.
Oh, when's her next pop-up? I'm there. When is her next pop-up? I'm coming. Matter of fact, I'll come to Eastern Cape, my baby. I will come to Eastern Cape. You hear me? It's just so crazy how now this was old though. That was an old video. This was an old video. But it's so crazy to me how she just goes into the ocean, just catches the, you know what I'm saying? Then she come back to the farm. She got chickens running around. It's bro, everything fresh. Everything. Like she literally go to the ocean, catch her seafood, come back to the farm. Maybe she can kill a cow, got some chickens, whatever. Hey, Eastern Cape might be where it's at, dog. Oh, the garlic in there. Some lemon. Mm, mm, mm. Is this her salad? Okay, I promise it's the last one. It's the last one, y'all. What's good, Prince? It's the last one, bruh. Yeah, Prince, you late, my brother. I ain't gonna hold you.
Hi, I'm
But
Onezwambola,
good to
and
see you in the
know
chat
these
though, man.
items
I
are
ain't seen you in a
grown,
while.
braised, or foraged.
Bro, it really bothles me, bro, that she could just go to the ocean, catch the seafood, then got chickens right up at the house, bro. That's a luxury, bro. Like you got all the meat you want. You got seafood, you got chicken, hamburger. Oh my. Fresh tomato. What's this? What's she gonna do with this, y'all? Her spaghetti. This is her spaghetti, bruh. I think. What is that? What is it? What a chef. Yeah, y'all. I'm sold. I'm coming. I'm going to the pop-up. I'll be there. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Don't even worry about it, y'all. Look, Prince.
My husband mentioned that he was craving Coca-Cola the other day, and since we
Coke
were
from
out of
scratch,
soda,
Prince.
I decided to make him some today.
Coke
I
from
started
scratch,
making
bruh.
my caramel sugar by combining some water and sugar, letting that come to the hard crack stage before
I can't
pouring
get
it
over
out and
this.
letting it cool. Once it was all cooled down, I broke it up and set it aside. and moved
Even
on
the
to
sugar.
zesting my citrus. I started by zesting some oranges, some lemon, and lastly, I also zested some lime. I moved on to grinding up all of my spices. I started by combining some nutmeg, cinnamon, some vanilla, coriander seeds, rose
How do
hips,
you
some
begin
lime
knowing how to
leaves,
make
and some
Coke,
cola
bruh?
nut before grinding that into
I
a
can't even,
fine
bruh, I've
powder.
had,
I
hold on,
combined that.
pause this. Like when you taste Coke, how can you even make out the taste? I'm not a Coke fan. I don't drink Coke, Pepsi, none of them sodas. I'm not a fan. But I've tasted it, bro. How do you even make out the flavors of a Coke?
Last round of ingredients with
Like,
ice and
bruh.
water with different sugars, the citrus that we zested earlier, and we can't forget about our citric and malic acid. And also
Is that what
the
those
caramel
stringy-
sugar
stringy-
we made earlier. I set that into a water bath
Citric
and let
acid?
that all come together for about an hour and a half on the stove before straining it through a fine mesh strainer. I popped that in the fridge until it was
Watch
cold,
this, y'all.
and then it was time
She
to
only
have
used a
our
little bit. Y'all see, she only used a little bit.
cold, and then it
Look
was
at that.
time to have our soda. I combined some cola syrup with sparkling water, and this tasted exactly like Coke. And when I made Lucky a glass, he was so impressed that he had to have another glass after.
That's crazy, bruh. These ladies that we just checked out, they can turn water to wine. I'm telling you, water to wine, y'all. It's too hot in South. I didn't even know Coke has so many spices, bruh. Like, what flavor is it? Like, how do you even know what goes into it? It just tastes like sugar. Somebody said the old recipe or the new one. Yeah, she forgot to add a little extra. Y'all know what to that.